Hey guys, how's it going? This is Srijan. Hope you're having a great day. Today I wanted to talk about something specific this time around. So, there's a game I was a big fan of back when I was much younger. In fact, I think I used to play it all the time, played it several times, in fact. And this game was Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. That's right, the Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. It was my absolute favorite back in the day. And coming back to it in recent years, I'm not as happy with the game as I used to be. I was fond of that game for at least a decade, I would say, at least 10 years. And how should I say this? I don't really have much love left for the game. In fact, I'm worried that slowly I'm kind of deviating towards disliking the game, in fact. I suppose it doesn't help that I'm making myself play a game I'm not enjoying anymore. But I guess a couple of things happened that sort of changed my opinion on the game. One of the things that happened was design your own mission. Yes, I used to make missions in DYOM. And it was a big part of the reason I loved the game so much. In fact, I think it went from me liking the original game to me liking DYOM instead. So I guess my joy for the game shifted towards DYOM instead. And because of that, I was not able to appreciate or even enjoy the original game's story as much anymore. Gameplay was fine. Some of the missions, though, were pretty frustrating. And I think the part where really it sort of dawned on me that I was not enjoying the game as much as I used to was when I started speedrunning it. Yes, if you know my Savage Surgeon channel, I was speedrunning this game. Los Santos went fairly well. Badlands was a bit of a struggle, but it wasn't so bad, like if you look at the videos itself. I tried to do a San Fierro recording, but the game glitched somewhere in the middle, so I could not get a lot of work done on that. Worst part, I lost that video. So I was like, alright, you know what, I'm not able to record the game for a while. Let me at least try to do a practice run. I attempted Los Santos, was able to go about halfway this time around, and that was it for day one. Day two, I finished one half of Los Santos. The other half of Los Santos, and then I also finished all of Badlands, and I did 4 of San Fierro's missions. And I'll admit, I was actually watching a stream, or rather listening in on the stream while doing it too, occasionally chatting and stuff. But that's neither here nor there. And then, I think it was after that, I played a few more, then the next time around after that, I played a few more missions, and I noticed a common trend. Each time I've gone through San Fierro, I've noticed that I've had a huge loss of interest. So I don't know if it's the San Fierro area itself or if it's the fact that, the San Fierro's missions are a little more annoying to me, I guess. But it's kind of like it's kind of been my biggest run killer. I've noticed that any playthrough I've done, San Fierro has been the biggest killer of my playthroughs, which is crazy to me. Because I've finished the game, like I've finished the story from beginning to the end at least 5 times. But every time I've tried to do it on camera, San Fierro seems to be the point where it just falls apart completely. Like, either I'm not motivated anymore, or my game stops working in that point, or it's just overall a very bad time somehow. Or if the Woozy mission, which requires you to have high lung capacity, makes you really just feel like you're not even enjoying the run because you're wasting half of that time having to get lung capacity for such a lousy mission. I always hated Amphibious Assault for that reason. It's one of those things where, yeah, you can use cheats and whatnot, but then that kind of invalidates the run, doesn't it? You know? The other thing that really made me not have as much fun with the game was the 100% checklist. I thought for sure that this was going to be a checklist where, I'll be able to do it, it's just fine, right? But certain missions, like let's say Trucking 8, like I'm talking about now I'm talking about my original remastered version playthrough. This was the version where I came the closest to 100% game completion. And I came close by, like, my final percentage was essentially 86.87%. That is pretty high for, like, all things considered. Please don't mind the shakiness so much. Like, right now, I really want to just get this off my chest. And to be honest, it's a very tough pill to swallow that I'm not liking San Andreas anymore. Because it was my all-time favorite GTA back in the day. To see that I'm going from loving the game to almost hating it now is a little upsetting to me personally as well, because this was a game that, now some of you guys may not know this at all. This was a game that my cousin had introduced to me. And let's just say when I first came across this game, I was absolutely, like, I was sold on the game. I was like, I want this game. So to go from that to almost hating the game now, it's a little heartbreaking, because that was a memory that I have of my cousin. That game kind of symbolizes a memory I have of my cousin. He's yeah, he's not around anymore. And some days I feel that game is the only memory of him I have left now. Even if it's not true and I have several other memories, it still feels that way. So the idea that I'm not fond of that game anymore kind of unsettles me, to be honest. Because I feel like I'm not being grateful for a memory I had, even though that couldn't be further from the truth. You know? And so yeah, I guess now you see why this is a tough pill for me to swallow. I suppose if it was any other game, I could have been like, okay, I could have easily accepted, like, okay, I'm not as fond of the game anymore and stuff. But here it feels this case feels very personal to me. And I suppose, like every other difficult thing to admit, I will have to admit this as well. I do miss my cousin at times. Most times, actually. I often think about how would he have faced the world today and whatnot. I try to be as responsible as him as well. And sometimes I wonder if I'm doing a good enough job. Thanks for listening, actually. I really needed to get that off my chest. Miss you, bro. Miss you very much. Wow. I went from talking about a game to talking about my bro. Who would have guessed? Yeah. Anyways, thanks for listening in. Maybe I just need to take a break from that game or whatever. Maybe that's just it. And hey, even if I'm not as fond of the game anymore, doesn't mean I don't appreciate the memory that was made. I think that's what matters more. So, wow. Saying all that out loud, it's made it more clear for me as well. So, once again, thanks for listening in. Have a good day, everyone. Bye bye.